Hi folks! For those of you who haven't played Life is Strange yet, I really suggest you do before watching this review. The first episode, Chrysalis, has recently been made free and the game overall is 16 quid. So a quick summary for those who haven't played it yet. 18-year-old photography student and Angela Anaconda lookalike Max Caulfield finds out she can rewind time after saving the life of a young woman in the toilets, who then turns out to be her hella best hella friend from hella 5 hella-ing years ago, Chloe Price. They then go off on an adventure to find the latter's friend Rachel Amber, who went missing months prior, all that while having to deal with utter cunts and having visions of a tornado coming to kill their wee town. As a multiple choice story game, every choice you make, whether it be big or small, has a lasting impact on your game. Even your very first choice is discussed in the 5th and final episode. If you're not happy with a choice you've just made, you can use the game's clever rewind mechanic to change it, but you can only turn back a few seconds, so you have to choose very wisely, taking the long term into careful consideration. The rewind mechanic can also be used in puzzles and clever dialogues where you can use knowledge from the future to turn the tides in your favour, though you can also use information from the surroundings to help as well. Anyway, if you haven't played it, buy it for PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360 or Xbox One. Play it, come back here so we can continue our lovely discussion. But if you have completed the game, well, on with the spoilers!
Spoilers coming, you need to get out here! Oh no!
If you're wondering why there's no footage, A, I didn't record it, and B, if I did, it would be a low FPS mess. So a low FPS slideshow or an actual slideshow, take your pick. My favourite moments from this game are the scenes with Max and Chloe. I really think that they are a fantastic duo that should be widely recognised in gaming media by now. Their exchanges are always nice to experience. One golden exchange was in The Two Whales, where Max proves to Chloe she can rewind time, and Chloe's reaction is priceless. Because of their renewed friendship and Max's powers, both characters change throughout the course of the game. Max changes from being timid to being more confident, able to deliver Adam Jensen levels of character destruction, and Chloe changes from being angsty with a fuck the world attitude to being caring and selfless at the end, but more on that later. Massive kudos to their voice actors Hannah Tell and Ashley Birch for making their respective characters sound very believable, especially in that scene where they found Rachel's body. That revelation shook me hard, but the voice acting of their reactions, especially Chloe breaking down, crying, "What kind of world does this?" was so bloody intense. But the best scene with Max and Chloe, in my opinion, was when Max travels back in time to the Vortex Club car park and tells Chloe how far she manipulated time just to be back with her. Both characters were tearing up and it was so heartfelt, it was fucking powerful. I love many of the characters in Life is Strange. Warren, William, Joyce, Kate, Samuel, Alyssa. They were all brill, but admittedly some of the main characters did initially appear as mere stereotypes at first. I mean, you have the pompous bitch, whose character could have been replaced by the word bitch itself, the super rich cunt bag who gets his powerful daddy to defend him, the grunty army man who might as well just been lifted from the training scene of Half-Life Opposing Force, and the shitty shifty shady drug dealer. However, these seemingly stereotypical and often punchable characters become increasingly 3D as the game goes on, and then your view of them changes drastically. And I mean drastically. By the end of the game, I was actually rooting for David, and despite Frank's constant brandishing of his knife, he actually becomes a supportive character if you play your cards right, even though that I did get Pompidou run over and I tried to shoot him. Victoria's still a bitch though. She horrifically bullied Kate to the point of suicide. Her genuine deep regret was merely a negligible speck of redemption in my eyes. And Nathan. Fuck him. He is an irredeemable wanker. I don't understand why some fans think he's just misunderstood. Oh, poor Nathan. His mental health issues and being Jefferson's puppet excuses all of the terrible things he's done, like overdosing Rachel to death, the possible rape of Rachel and Kate, the attempted rape of Chloe, murdering Chloe in the unaltered timeline, taking a picture of Pompidou's roadkill corpse, stealing crucifixes from Kate's memorial, waving his gun around like he fucking owns the place, and knowingly drugging multiple women for Jefferson's sick-minded scheme. Cunt. The only good thing he's ever done was warn Max about Jefferson in his pathetic excuse of an apologetic voicemail. "Oh Max, I'm so sorry." Pathetic. He was only saying that because he knows he was going to be disposed like the trash even he is below. If Nathan was ever truly sorry, he would have turned himself into the corrupt police force his family pretty much own a long time ago. Fuck Nathan Press, cunt. Wow, I have to give it to Don't Nod for making a character you want to hate. Bloody hell, that was heated. But there's no denying that he was red-herringed to oblivion, because the revelation that Jefferson was the baddie all along was a fucking awesome twist. I thought he was some twatty side character everyone looked up to. The good kind of twatty. But he was just too twatty to be the main villain, if that makes sense. It's one of those reveals where the hints were everywhere, and no one noticed. The art style. I love the hand-painted look of the game, but I have to admit it can be very inconsistent at times. There's nothing wrong with having a unique art style in a game, take TF2 for example, but the texturing in Life is Strange can range from being very detailed on story items and characters, especially teary eyes, to paintbrush grass, and... the fucking profile picture! Max Caulfield's profile picture! Fucking hell. The developers have done impressive work in the environments. The game world of Arcadia Bay is a colourful and vibrant one. The attention to detail is superb. I especially love exploring Chloe's house. Even though you haven't been there before, Max's inner monologue and flashbacks are enough to give a sense of how much time has passed and makes you wonder what her home was like before the game. It's also good to see the changes to her home when you go back to the day of her dad's death and in the alternate timeline. It's that kind of detail I fucking love. The soundtrack is beautiful. It does venture into royalty-free ukulele territory, but listening to it after completing the game gives off a somber feel. And I have to say the licensed tracks were chosen well, especially Obstacles by Syd Miers. That gave me shivers when it was placed at the end of episode 1. It still gives me goosebumps. The alternate timeline was the saddest moment in the entire game. Even though that it was nice to see the posthumous William Price, Chloe's predicament as a quadriplegic was just depressing. Even though that she was happy to see Max. It was strange that it was still Chloe, but she was kinder and more forgiving. Euthanizing Chloe and then letting her dad die to save her was truly an intense and two of the saddest moments in the entire game. Of course, I have to talk about the nightmare scene. Even though that it was a beautifully put together sequence that looked into Max's doubts and fears while presenting itself as a corrupted twist to the entire game world and characters, it still leaves me wondering, what was the point of it? I really don't want to say it was filler, because it was a really well done sequence, but it was kind of out of the blue.
Do you like a random and out of the place corruption of the entire game world? Well, here you go! Plop! Now you can experience the nightmare!
There were a few choices I wish I could have changed. Firstly, I wish I hadn't humiliated Victoria with the paint. Though I wasn't a cock to her later on, I think it was instrumental in not successfully warning her about Nathan, which I wish I could have done as well. And though I still stand by my initial decision, I would not have thrown the bone into the road had I known Pompidou and Frank were actually decent. The only choices I didn't make in Chloe's favour was when I rightly chose to answer Kate's phone call and not take the disabled money. Speaking of whom, I would have liked to save Kate Marsh, though it was more of the case of choosing the wrong dialogue option than a deliberate choice. But regarding the final decision, there's no way in hell I would have sacrificed an entire fucking town just for one person. I mean, did you not learn from Spock in The Wrath of Khan, you heartless cunts? You're so fucking heartless! You destroyed the entire fucking town for one Joking aside though, it pained me to sacrifice Chloe. I initially found the amount of times she kept dying was just laughable. Oh Chloe, you're doing that dying thing again. But at the final choice, you realise that it's actually reality trying to correct itself. She was meant to die in the toilets, and if she doesn't die to fix everything, then Arcadia gets it. But this isn't just sacrificing Chloe. This is Chloe offering herself for the town she once wanted to burn, Her changing character from being selfish and angsty to being ready to die for her hometown knowing she'll forget everything she's experienced and discovered, even her sacrifice itself, makes this act, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, heroic sacrifice in a video game. Period. I mean shit, she'll die not knowing what happened to Rachel Amber, who is responsible for it all, the week she spent with Max, how much her death affects everything in the grand scheme of things, and that she even sacrificed herself to begin with. This makes even Tassadar's sacrifice from StarCraft, widely considered to be the best heroic sacrifice in a video game, look like utter shit! An ordinary rebel girl, having a change in heart, realising her role as a fucking anomaly and is just living on borrowed time, then choosing to die for the betterment of everyone in the town, only to be remembered as a victim of teen homicide and not the monumental decision she chose. Choosing to die, knowing all that is badass.
Shut up, it's just a video game character.
Look at you with your fucking waifu. I was just blown away by this game. Not by the tornado, of course.
You think you're funny?
I wish I can erase my memory of playing this game so I can experience it again. You know, I think that's the problem with replaying story-heavy games like Life is Strange. It's a fantastic experience, but there's only so many times you can replay it. So that's why it's going to be a while before I play it again, so it remains fresh. But nonetheless, thank you very much Don't Nod for making this fucking masterpiece. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review of one of the best games. I hope you enjoyed what— Chloe, I'm sorry! Chloe, I'm sorry! Why did you die? I'm sorry,
Why, Chloe? Why did you fucking die? Oh, god damn it, Chloe. Fuck. You keep getting yourself killed all the time. Jesus Christ. I mean, fuck.